Welcome! My name is Debbie and this is Pouring My Art Out for the Lord. And I have a really sweet project to show you today. I got inspired to make this from Diane at Faith Art Design Studio. I'll link her video below. And Diane was inspired by Kathy's garden. So the inspiration is continuing. And Kathy's garden probably got inspiration from somewhere else, I'm not sure. So what it is it's a little journal, but the pages are layered so that you can see most, if not all of the pages before you open it. So it's like a waterfall in this direction. So it's a really, really neat journal and I'm excited to show you this. I recorded the first section of this video before, and when I was going to edit it, I found out that all of the video, the first video that I did, was completely blurry. So I'm going to redo it. So I'm going to show you how to do the structure, but I'm just going to show you with some different papers right away because I finished this journal already. But before I get into that, I just want to say this is a design team project for Bible Journal Love. I have been on the design team for Bible Journal Love for several years. I haven't done a project for a while, so she might have actually canceled my design team project status. I'm not sure, but her kits are beautiful, so I wanted to make this kit regardless. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Bible Journal Love's kits because they are very different from anything else that I've seen on the market in Etsy or wherever. Well, first of all, most of her kits come with a Bible study. Actually, if I turn that around, all of her Bible studies come with an optional kit to make projects as you're studying, doing the Bible study. So this particular Bible study is called Inner Peace, and this is part of the kit I'm using. There's tons and tons of stuff in these kits. This is just a small fraction of that kit, the Inner Peace kit that I'm using for this. So all the papers and ephemera. There's the odd little bit that I just had in my stash, but 95% of it is all from the Inner Peace kit. But what I wanted to tell you is Robin's kits come with two parts, a printable part and a digital part. The printable kit, it's like two kits in one. The printable kit is very similar to anything else that you would get on Etsy. The pages are either in JPEG or PDF format. You get the kit, you print them out. There's ephemera already made up for you. There's pages, journal pages. There's, lots of fussy cuts and all of that kind of stuff. And you print it out, you cut it up, and you assemble it. That's called printable. And then there's the other side, which is like a whole other kit. It's the same images, but it's called a digital kit. And the digital kit comes in a little bit different format, usually PNG files and some JPEG files. And what you can do is you can take those files and work with them digitally. And your final project can be a digital project, and lots of the ladies who do the Bible studies have as their final project a digital project, so they never make a physical project. I call mine hybrid. I like to do the digital designing, and then I like to print it out and have the printable project as well. So for the digital kit, you do need to have access to some sort of digital program that works with images. I use Photoshop Elements, but you can also use Canva, Affinity. There's a whole bunch of other free programs that you can use. Some of them are a little bit hard to use, but if you're already using one of them, you can use Robin's digital kits in there. You can do a mix and match. You can do a little bit digitally and then you can do a little bit printable, because both kits come in one purchase. You get the printable and the digital in one purchase. So I just want to give you an idea of what the printable kit or the digital kit would be. So this particular image here, I have several images that I combined. There was a frame, and you can see part of the frame there, and I put a background behind the frame. So I took a page and I put it behind the frame, just, you know, to kind of give a little more interest, plus then I wouldn't have to fussy cut around the flowers. The flowers were part of the original frame. I cut out the middle of the frame, and then I put this image of this woman's face behind the frame to peek out. Then I put these feathers here, and you know, you kind of stylize them with drop shadows and that kind of stuff. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, just skip ahead. But if you're, you know, if you're a Photoshop person or a digital creator, you know, this might be of interest to you. And then this was some word art that she has separate, so I took that. Sometimes I cut it in half and you know, manipulated that. You can change the size of anything. You can change colors of things. And most creators, when they sell you a kit, they discourage or outright forbid you from digitally manipulating their images. But Robin encourages it. She actually has videos showing you how to do some of these things. So I love, love, love that part of it. Like it's just so much fun. If you're, you know, if you have Photoshop or something like that, it's a really neat way to do a kit. So I'll just show you a couple more little examples. Like this was a frame. This was some word art that she had. And then I did some shading in the background so that the word art would kind of pop. These were some tags. This was a tag template from a company called Creative Art and Soul, Linda Matthews. And she sells kits just like regular printable kits. And she's got lots and lots of those, which are adorable. But she also sells templates, and the templates you can actually use for commercial purposes. Because I filled these with Robin's digitals, which are not commercial, you can manipulate them, but only for personal use. You can't resell them. So the templates themselves are commercial use, but what I filled them with is not. What I filled them with is Robin's Bible Journal Loves digital kit images, which are for personal use only. So I can't sell these. So you have to be careful, because it's, you know, there's two parts to it. Anyways, you can get the templates. I got the templates, and then I filled them with a paper from Robin's kit. This one I put a verse. This one I put a bird. This one I put a butterfly. I put some X's in the background. That was in Robin's kit as well. And then you can size everything and you know, flip it around and overlap and blend and all that kind of stuff. This one I put the face on a paper. This one I put an image into one of those as well. So I did, you know, quite a bit of digital manipulation, I guess, before I printed them out. So I play around with the images and overlap and blend and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. Is when I put a couple butterflies on with some backgrounds. All of these ones. So then I get what I want. I size, you know, I can size the tags differently. Well, this was a template, but some of the tags are actually Robin's tags. Like this was a tag from the Bible Journal Love Kit. So you can size these to whatever size that you want within your digital software. And then I printed them out, and then I cut them out, and then I assembled my project. So it's a little bit another step of the design. It's a little deeper design than just printing and making your kit. And I'm not knocking printable kits at all. I love printable kits. I make printable kits, and you can do so much with printable kits. You can take one page of, you know, just a background paper and make pockets and tags and belly bands and all kinds of ephemera. You can take fussy cuts. You can layer things. Like there's lots and lots and lots of stuff that you can do. But this one adds the digital design element as well. So hopefully that makes sense. If you'd like a little bit more just kind of introduction to how to use Robin's digital kits, I do have some other videos, some older videos on talking about the digital kits, the printable kits, and the hybrid process that I have, and showing you a bunch of examples. I'll see if I can look that up and link that as well. So like I said, I lost the footage to make the structure of the journal, so I'm going to print out some different papers from one of Robin's other kits, and I'm going to show you how to make the structure here, and then I'm going to proceed with the rest of this footage that I had to create the rest of this video. So this is another one of Bible Journal Love's kits. This one is called Hope and Light. And again, this one has a Bible study to go with it. So I'm just going to show you the construction because, like I said, I lost my footage. So I'm just going to show you the basic construction, and then we'll continue with the original one. So let me just take all these papers apart, first of all. And I'll show you what I did. So I printed 3 pages from the Hope and Light kit, double-sided. So here is one of them. So the cover, I want to score 2.5 inches from the left side to fold that in, and I want to score 3.5 inches from the right to fold that in. And it doesn't have to be exact. The way this project is, you know, it's very loose. You can do it however you like. I'm just giving you my measurements because someone will want to know exactly where I folded it. So this is how I did the first one. This is how I'll show you the second one. If I make another one, I won't guarantee that it'll be the same. So this one I printed like a journal page. On this side, a nicely embellished page, and this is a fairly plain page. We're going to put lots of stuff on here, so it doesn't need to be completely embellished to begin with. This is going to become an envelope, so I'm going to stitch here along this edge, and then I'm going to stitch all the way around and make an envelope out of that piece. And then what you want to do is just start adding pieces so that they poke out of this side. This is our shortest page on the left-hand side. This is where we will stitch together our book. So the next piece I selected is a doily. It's a tea-dye doily, and I just folded it in half, and if I put it there, it sticks out. It actually sticks out quite a ways, but that's okay for this one because the doily doesn't come all the way and you can still see through the doily. So then the next one I decided to do is, and I'll show you the measurements of this in a second, but I decided to do a book music page. And see, this one actually doesn't go past the doily, but it you see it at the top and the bottom and through the center. So these two are kind of, you know, you could change them back and forth. I wanted something solid under the doily, but poking through as well. So this page, it was a longer page like this. This side or this side? This side, I guess. And I cut it down to 8.5 inches wide. There was a little bit of a margin there, so I cut it off to 8.5 inches wide. And then I just decided how much I wanted it to poke through. And the way I did that is I just take this like this, and I just wanted it to come, you know, over the doily, but not quite at the end. So I just kind of put it where I thought I wanted it on the outside, and then I folded this back like that. Okay, that's all I did. And it ended up being just a little over 3.5 inches. And then the other side is a little bit longer. The other side in my page is 4.5 inches. But you're going to have your own pages, and you know, you can do what you want for your folds. So that one is going to go there. Then the next one that I picked to go in is this another one of the journal pages from the Bible Journal Love, Hope and Light kit. And here is the journal page for this one. And this is the side that's a little bit more plain. And I folded this 4 inches and then another 4 inches. So this would be 4 and this would be 8. And then I folded this back. And then what I wanted to do is fold this up to make a pocket. So I folded it up 2¼ inches up. You know, again, play around with what works for you, what works for your paper. If this was right in between right in the middle of my flowers, I might have done it, you know, different. And then when you get this folded up, unfold it again and fold these fold it where it's folded. Fold it where it's folded, that makes sense. And I want you to take just a little tiny V from the bottom right to this fold line here, so that it'll look like this. This one didn't go quite up there. Let me just grab a little bit more there. So then I have a little bit of a V there, and then I want to do the same thing on this fold here. Let me just see this one. I have 2 folds here because I think I was playing around and I just did it a little bit different. So I just want to do a little V there as well, just like that. And then that is going to help when these pockets are flipped up. These folds are not going to be hung up on these pockets. If you don't do that, then these will be hard to fold, and eventually something will get a little bit kind of funny looking, a little bit tattered. So then what I want to do is I want to put this one in next. So I'm going to put it in this way, I think. So again, this one is just a little bit wider than the music page. And then, yeah, when you open it up, actually, I think what I was going to do is fold this back. You can fold it either way. If I fold it back and I move this up to the top, which I did in my other one, then you've got this blue here and this blue here and this blue here. I think I like the way that looks. So I just folded this pocket to the front. You can fold it either way. And then I go like that. And then the next page is another journal page. And here's the journal page. And here's the one that's a little bit more plain. I love that with the dandelions. And this one I folded at 4.5 inches, 9 inches, and then this is whatever's left on my page. So that one I'm going to put in here. Again, you know what you can do is you can just sort of, like, if you go here and you want it just a little bit more than that, just kind of figure out where you want it and then fold it to the back. And then you have it exactly where you want it. That's how I did it. I didn't really measure anything completely. And so this one will go in the middle of these 2 pocket pages there, like that. And then this, in my other one, I stitched this closed for a little vertical pocket. So you can do that, or you can leave it open as a flip. But you wanna tuck it in for now. And then I have a piece of tracing paper just for a little bit different interest. And again, I would just take this tracing paper and I would fit it over here. And so this one is going to be in between this page and this page. So I'm just going to put it just a smidge out here. I'm running out of space to put things in between. And then I just folded it over wherever that worked. Then I'll take it out and I'll put it into my page or into my booklet, and that's where that will live. Okay, so you can see all of the different pages in the waterfall, and that's exactly what we're going for. And then we can glue, you know, laces and trims and have tags sticking out. I'll show you all that in a minute. And then the last piece, because I cut this this piece off the music page, what I thought I would do, and I saw, I think Kathy's Garden did it this way, just folded this in half, and I put this in the center, and then when I come to the center of my tracing paper, I just have a little bit more interest there. Plus it kind of maybe supports that tracing paper a little bit too. This one won't be seen from the front because it's obviously hidden there, but that one will live in there. So that's how we make the base of our journal. So I'll show you next how I put my original one together. Okay, I finished a couple of the edges here. So this one I just sewed down here and sewed around. So I've got that nice pouch there. Didn't do anything to the doily. This one I just sewed that piece of lace on there. This one I decided to glue the pockets shut. So I just glued those pockets shut. Well, not on the top, but you know what I mean. And this one I glued, or rather stitched. I stitched here. Then I folded it up and I stitched all the way around, and when I was stitching this side I stitched that trim on there. And then on this tracing paper I put a piece of washi tape on this edge and also this edge. I put a bit of glue underneath because washi tape doesn't stick permanently, so I put a bit of washi tape underneath, or glue underneath the washi tape rather, and then folded that over the edge on both of those edges. And then in the center I also took some of my I've shown this quite a few times on my channel too. This is 3M micropore tape, and you can get like off brands at the dollar store and stuff. It's just a fabricy, papery medical tape, and it's nice and strong, and it just kind of blends into the background. And once I get this stitched in the center, and then this is there, you're not going to even know that it's there, but it gives it a good structure in the middle where you're going to be stitching. So that is my book, and I'm just going to use a 3-hole pamphlet stitch to stitch it together. This page is a little bit shorter, so I'm going to just kind of might move it right up to the top, or just a little bit from the top, because I've got other pockets at the bottom. I've got this pocket at the bottom, and there's always less bulk at the top of a journal, so sometimes when I can move things to the top I do, and just line everything up. I'm not going to do the 3-hole pamphlet stitch on camera because I've done that many times, and I also have, if you're just kind of new to this, I have a playlist called Junk Journal 101, and some of the basic things like 3-hole pamphlet stitch are on there, and that it goes through, you know, basic teaching 101 kind of thing. So if you're curious about, you know, little techniques like that, you can look at that playlist. So I just have some wax thread here. I did it about 3 times the height, just so that I'd have enough for, I might do a little bit of dangles down here. And I'm just gonna pause the camera and I'll stitch it together, and then I'll be back. All right, so I got my signature sewed in, just did a 3-hole pamphlet stitch and left the tails down here. And now I will start decorating. So we'll just go through this kind of page by page. I had made this digitally with the inner piece kit. So I thought I would glue, you know, just like that half here, and then this would turn over like that. I'm just going to, this is just plain cardstock. So I have just this, sorry, I'm trying to think and talk at the same time, doesn't always work. Just this background script stamp. So I'm just gonna ink up a little bit here just to give it a little bit of interest that in the part that's going to show. It'll be this side here, so that's probably good. And then I'm just going to glue that onto here. I might just put one piece of tape here just to kind of get it going so it's not going to move, because I want to kind of keep going on this. So I'll just put a piece of tape there, and then I'll glue the rest. I don't know if I mentioned it yet or not, but of course I will link Robin's kit, the Bible Journal Love Kit, below as well. So you can have a look at that. So there is that. And then I wanted to actually get that up a little bit. I want to just put a little bit of lace underneath. Just tuck it underneath a little bit and then put it down here. So this I will just glue on. I'll just glue it on the center here. This is just regular glue, so it's probably going to take a minute to dry. I probably should have used something else, but just turn that around so that is even. Bottom, I'll just slip that underneath there. And then, do I want just a little bit? I think I just want a little bit up at the top as well, just to make it look like it's going all the way through, even though it's not really. Get this underneath here still a little bit. That is perfect. There, I love how that looks. Just snip this part off. All right. So there is the cover so far. I might add something else there. I like how that looks. So I had this page printed. That came just straight from the kit, and this background page was straight from the kit, and I just added 3 of the faces on top. And I think what I'm going to do is just make a little bit of glue at the back on my mat here. So I will have to cover that, but that's not a big deal. Okay, so I think I'm going to take this part of the paper and just make a little bit of a tear. To make like just kind of a torn pocket here. Like that. Perfect. And just put a little bit of ink on that. I'm not heavily inking these papers because I don't want them to look, I guess, too grungy. A little bit grungy, but not too grungy. So I'm just going to glue that on 2 sides here. That will be a pocket. And I'll go kind of close to the center, but not, not on the fold. And that will be a nice pocket. I can put some words or something there. Then I have this page. Let me just I'm going to do something up here. I'm going to take another piece of this, and I'm just going to cut about 3.5 inches here. Strip. Then I'm just going to fold kind of a little kind of flippy sort of thing. So I'm just going to leave about 1/2 inch at the bottom and just fold it like that. And then I'm going to fold this up so it's about 1/2 inch again, not measuring exactly. And then this one up so it's about 1/2 inch again, away from the one before. So then this can just be like a, you know, kind of a fold out thing. You can use that for journaling. And then it folds up like that, but when you fold this down, you can see the picture of the girl. So I'm just going to put a little bit of ink on this, and I'm just going to glue that right up here. And I'm going to put something for a closure here, but I don't know quite what yet. So I think I might just leave it open at the top so that I can use a paper clip like that. So I'm just going to glue it on 3 sides, and I'm glue that fairly close to the top here. Okay. And then I can put another pocket or something here. Okay, I found this piece on my desk, something that I had printed out. So I think I'm going to use this as a closure. I'm going to show you how that will work. I'm just going to glue right on the very top. Just about maybe 1/4 inch there. And then do I want it centered, or do I think I'm just going to put it off to the side a little bit here. And just glue that onto this top layer, this top part. And let me just let that dry for a minute, and then I'll show you how that works. And then I have this piece that I made. So I think I'm just going to glue this on 3 sides to make a vertical pocket. Or maybe it's called a horizontal pocket. I think it's called a vertical pocket. I don't know. The opposite way of what we usually do. So there's a pocket, and here's one of the tags that I made, and I just backed it with some lined paper. I'm going to punch this hole here, and it was just a little bigger than that, so let me, actually maybe I'll just punch it with my, this one is slightly bigger. Yeah, that one is perfect. Okay, so there's a hole, and I'll put something in there. I could put an eyelid, I could put some fibers. So that is going to stick out a little bit. So when you close the journal, then you've got another little piece sticking out. So I like how that looks. So this I'm just going to leave like that. And then when you want to open it up, you can open it up like this. And then when you want to fold it up, you just kind of pull this up a bit and tuck those papers underneath. So I think that works out really well. I may even just glue it just a little bit farther down here. And then it'll stay a little better, I think. I'll let that dry for a second. Then on this side, I think I'll just put a couple of things in the pocket. So I just have this tag that I made, and I think I'll just stick that in there. And I have an Abide in Christ smaller tag. This one I just backed on cardstock, pink cardstock, this one on lined paper. I want to kind of show off the bird's face there, so tuck it in like that. That looks nice, and I can put something else there. I glued this up a little bit higher, and I think it stays better now. I could put a little piece of Velcro there as well. I might end up doing that. I think it'll flatten out as it sits in there anyways. And then on this side, I think I'll do another one of those vertical pockets. This piece just fits perfectly on that page. I have another tag that I made. I think the tag just came like that, and I just added the Peaceful Surrender. Beautiful birds on here. Beautiful florals, beautiful, I love the colors too. And then I just put some lined paper on the back, and I'll just put that one up near the top. Then when you fold it, you can have. And we'll put something there. Maybe we'll even have some dangles there or something after. And then I have this. I want something tall there. I have to think about that for a minute. Then I have another tuck here. This one I just put one of the pieces of ephemera that I made, and I stuck that in there. I think what I'll make with that is something with a music sheet. So I just actually folded a piece of music paper and tucked it in there. I printed out, or I cut out the Happy Farmer. We are farmers. We just got finished seeding our crops for the year, and we're having a nice little rain today, so we are happy farmers. I just decided to stick that in there. I may even make a note of why I picked that and the date. It's not raining enough. We need more rain. It's really, really dry here, but it's coming, so I'm happy about that. And then I have this part, this flat part. So I thought I would do something on here, and I need something, I would put something like this one on here. That one would go to, I think I like that one actually though. I think I'm going to put this one here, but I want to ground it a little bit. It feels like it's just, if you put it like that, it's just not grounded. So I'm going to just do a little piece underneath. I'll just cut that off so it fits on the page where I want it, like that. And then I'm just going to use one of my border punches, which I don't use that often anymore, but I thought this would be a nice use for it. This is an old Stampin' Up! One, but these Stampin' Up! Punches and different things from Stampin' Up! You can usually get the older stuff on Facebook Marketplace or whatever for really good price now, because I think the Stampin' Up! Distributors, I'm not one, and I never have been one, but I think they have to like keep up with the new stuff, and I don't think they're kind of allowed to use the old stuff in videos and stuff, because then they're the people that are watching can't duplicate the effect because they can't get those products anymore. So you see those the older ones on thrift stores or Facebook Marketplace or whatever for good prices. So if you are in need of any of that, you can check that out. So then I can put that there. And do I want, I might even just put a little tiny bit of this script stamp on here as well. It's not going to show much in the middle, just a little bit there. Now, I could also make that into a belly band. Do I want a belly band there? I think I'm going to make it into a belly band. I'm not going to put anything in there right at the moment. Sometimes I like to, make, if there's a possibility of making a pocket or a belly band, I'll make it, and then if I never put anything in there, it's fine. But if I ever want to put something in there, then I have a space. So that's my theory. And if you wanted to just put a little note underneath here, it would actually be quite secretive. So then I can only glue this on the middle of this card. So just straighten it out and give myself a couple of marks for where I want the glue. At some point you have to stop making pockets and tucks stuff in a journal, because it gets to be, you can keep going and going and going and going, and at some point you just have to stop. There we go. It's a little more obvious that that's a belly band now because I didn't glue that whole thing down. So we'll leave it like that for now. I may change it. I can glue this down. I could even glue down half of it. I could glue down this side or this side, and then I could just leave it open like as a tucked belly band. That's another idea. Okay, inside here, again, I don't have anything really small here. I'm gonna have to do some fussy cuts or something on there. So let me just think about that for a minute. On this pocket, I want something to decorate this pocket as well. And I'm gonna do something similar here. I have this and this, and I don't think I'll turn this one into a belly band. But maybe I'll just do a little bit of script stamp just cause I got it handy here. Just on the edges. And I'm going to glue this down all the way this time. Slightly towards the top. I don't like it completely in the center. And then I've just got this little piece. That I thought I would glue on top, like that, just centered on top. That looks good. Perfect. And then I have just this piece here that I thought I would stick in there. I need to back this one there, so I'm going to tuck that in, but I also need something a little bit taller here. So I just took a piece of this paper. I only printed it on one side. I thought I might tuck that into there. So I'm going to do a little bit of stenciling on this side because I don't really like the plain white. Just for something different. So I just have a little Stampin' Up! Spot, cameo coral, and dauber thing. And I'm just going to stencil some roses on here. There, that probably looks good. And then I'll just ink just the outside edge here a little bit. Okay, I like that. And then on the other side, I'm just going to do it like this, I think. I could do it like this as well. But I think I just want it that way this time. So I'm just going to open that up, and I'm just going to glue down a couple of these pieces that I have. I have lots of these pieces, so I thought I would just glue a couple of pieces down there. There. So I didn't make any of those into a pocket. I just put them straight on. I probably will do a little bit more decoration in these two places, but for now, that can just live in there. Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out some other things here. So on this page, I decided to do a series of pockets, and I just tore around the edges of these. I think I'll just tear the sides of these so they're kind of uniform here. Just to add a little interest, something, you know, something a little different. Okay, so if I put that one there, and that one there, I think that would look good. Okay, so I want to have this one. I'm just going to make a little pencil mark here. And I'm just going to glue the two sides of this one. Or do I want this side? No, I think I want that side. I forgot this is two-sided paper. Okay, so this one I'm going to just put there at my pencil mark. So there, that's why I have, okay. I thought I had inked these and then I didn't ink them, and then oh, okay, it's because they're not or because they're double-sided. So then on the middle one, I'm also going to just do the sides, and I will overlap that one like that, just really organic. Oops. And then the bottom one, I'm going to glue the sides and the bottom. So then the top two pockets are going to go all the way down to the bottom. So then I'm going to need some more tall things again. I don't have much tall things ready yet. Okay, and then I made this little tag. I just took one of the tags that I had made digitally, and I took a piece just in my scrap bin of this embossed cardstock, and I washi taped them together. And then I have this little punch. I've shown this punch quite a few times, but it just does a little semicircle. It doesn't punch the whole way through. This is a Stampin' Up! Punch, but I've seen different varieties, so it just kind of gives a nice little tab here. I did a little bit of stenciling there just to not make it white. So I thought that could live in one of the pockets here, just like that. So there's that. And then inside here, I have these two pockets. So I haven't done the opposite side. I'm not going to do all of this. It's taking too long to try to do it in between camera time. So I'm just going to kind of finish up, and then I'll back things and stuff later. So that can go like that. And this can be paper clipped together or not. I think it'll stay without being paper clipped together even. I had kind of thought about this tag for this side. Can live in there. Over here, I just tore another piece out of that paper that I had, that I showed you a couple minutes ago, and tore another one of those ladies out. This time I'm going to make a top tuck. So I think you get the idea of what I'm doing here. I've got such a mess. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish up off camera, and then I'll just do a little quick flip through at the end if you're interested with everything put in here. I have all of this ephemera still to go. We've got quite a few things put in here already, but we can definitely add a few other things. So I'm going to do the rest off camera, and then I'll just do a little flip through at the end with what I came up with, and show you the final project. So if you're interested in that, hang tight. I'll be right back. All right, I am calling this journal semi-done. I still want to do a couple little things. I want to put some dangles here, and there's a couple little places that I want to just finish up a couple of things. Maybe put some ribbons in the tags and stuff, but I'm going to call it done for now, and I'll just give you a quick flip through of what I came up with. So I just decided to close it. This is one of my favorite closures. It's just so quick and easy, and it just looks good. You just take a piece of elastic and, you know, kind of fit it. I usually to go twice around my book and then tighten it a little bit. And then I just put a button here, and I tie the button. Sometimes I tie it in the back, sometimes I tie it in the front just to tie a knot. And then you just put it around here, and there's your closure. You can kind of, you know, play with this, how it looks. You can do all kinds of things on the button if you want, but you can just leave it really simple if you want to do that too. So there's the cover. Again, this is a waterfall, so you can see all the layers here. And I just added little bits and pieces. I showed you all of these things. I made a belly band here with some of the tags and just stuck a little piece of lined paper in there. And I just made some words with the kit, and then put that in there as a little tuck. And there's a couple more tags that I made. I backed these with lined paper. I wanted to add just a little bit extra bits and pieces, so I just kind of went through a couple of things that were sitting around my desk and just added a couple of things to there. So here and there, not too many. Those ones are not part of the kit, but pretty much everything is part of the kit. This kind of flips up and this flips down. There we have one of the ladies, and then this comes up. You've got all that for journaling space. And that tucks in like that. Here I have another vertical pocket with another tag. Again, those ones, all three of those come out, overlap on the front, which I really, really like. And then I have a pocket here. There's another one of the words, held by God. A couple of tags in there. Here I just made a pocket with one of the, just a piece of cardstock and then one of the cards, and I just put some of that lined paper here. I'll probably put a tab or something on the top there, a piece of fiber or something. And then here was my my tracing paper page. So I did a long vertical pocket there. Just put a couple bits on there. Again, some lined paper and a couple of tags in there. Here was our center. And then on the other part of the tracing paper, I have this little card that I made. I turned one of the tags. I actually cut off the top of the tag, made it into a pocket, and then I just put a little tuck into there. And another little tag, had a butterfly, added a butterfly there. This was another pocket that I stitched, and my happy farmer, I showed you that. And then this was the 3 torn pockets that I did. So I have this fancy tag at the bottom I showed you. Just a little piece of writing paper, and this was just a tag that I stamped and painted. And on this side I have, this opens like that, so I have some tags, and I added a butterfly and some words there. And then this I turned into a belly band, so I just put a little bit of lined paper in there as well. Here's the other side, so I just put another pocket there with a butterfly and a little ticket and a tag. Here's my big pocket, and there's my tag on some cardstock, and then this was the trifold that I did, stenciled on the back. And then here was a top tuck, and I just put this little piece of paper in there for some writing space, and my doily. And then at the back, my large pouch, I could put extra things in there. I stamped and colored that as well, and just a piece of blank paper, and just a little bit of a collage there. And if you remember, I glued this to the back of, to my mat, so I had a couple little tiny tears, so I just glued a little pocket there and a little tag, stuck a little tag there. So this is a fun project, guys. I hope you try it. It's just a really fun project. As I was finishing it, I thought this would be a really great project to just make the skeleton and put it on the side of your desk. And then whenever you have, little bits and pieces that you have left from a project, instead of putting them away somewhere, just stick them in here. And then eventually, after you, I don't know, however often you craft, it'll depend on how often you craft, how full it'll get, or how quickly it will fill up, is what I mean to say. But eventually you'll have, a nice eclectic little waterfall journal at the end. I'm really impressed with, there's a lot of ephemera in there. I think I had about 5 pages, and then I made some more, but it's got a nice profile. And it's just a really, really fun looking journal. So thank you so much, Diane, for the inspiration, and Kathy's Garden for the inspiration. And thank you very much to Bible Journal Love for providing this kit for me. And I hope you go check Robin out and make this little waterfall journal. Blessings. See you soon.